So please enter into prayer with me. Taking this deep breath and just letting it all go. Knowing that there is one mind, one life that is vast and self-organizing. It is that divine intelligence that brings galaxies into being. I call it God, Spirit. It is this ineffable singularity, that which cannot be constrained or limited by our language. It is that divine mind behind the pattern of all things, the quiet law that moves through space without strain and without interruption. And I see this in the turning of the seasons, the way the rain moves through the canopy like an old conversation. Leaf answering leaf in this rhythmic percussion. The way the sap begins its quiet ascent up through the bodies of trees. An invisible tide rising through cedars and maples. And I see it how moss gathers light the way monks gather silence. Patiently, layer by layer, turning each stone into a living altar. This divine presence is not separate from these things. It is inherent within it. It is the intelligence behind it. It is that rhythm that brings it into being. And I am of it. I am an expression of this divine presence. I could not be separated out from it. This divine intelligence lives within me as well, and this is the truth for each one here as well. That each one here is this unique current in this river of being. Each one here is not competing for this circulation. Each one here is part of it, this vastness, immersed in it. And so each one here stands as a collective representation of the divine. And so it is from this place in consciousness that I speak my word for this spiritual community, knowing that the words here today come from a place of clarity, allowing each one to see the best in themselves and the best in this community. And I know that the music today is this living harmony, softening what is rigid within us and revealing wholeness and truth. And I know that the silence here today is this spacious field of consciousness, allowing truth to root and allowing wisdom to unfold. And so I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this community. I'm grateful for the ability to commune with the divine in this way. And I'm grateful for the law that always says yes. Yes, my beloved, it is so. And responds perfectly each and every time. And so I release this word into that law, knowing that it is done, knowing that it is acted upon with perfect mathematical and mechanical precision, bringing it all into form, all into life, all into being. So I release it, and I say, amen, yippee skippy, and so it is.
Stuff happens around us, right, in the world? All the time, right? All the time. Except for Tuesdays, apparently. That's good, because we're supposed to visit a guy who's going to put a, what do you call that, implant into my tooth, and they said it was going to be painful, and so I'm glad that that's not going to, yeah, it's not going to be, because it's on Tuesday. But we have the opportunity to stand, I love that song that says, be hard. It's really be solid, be grounded in the highest truth that you know as stuff is spinning around you, and to come back to that truth no matter what. Last night it was a concert. David and Saja were at the same concert. It was a group of 4 percussionists doing all sorts of stuff, and they were doing alternate percussions, and they would do percussion that was at the same beat, and then one of them would change the speed, and the other one would change the beat. And they each had to stay grounded in what they were doing, no matter what was happening around them. And it was amazing to watch. They were very skilled musicians in doing this. And that's how we are, no matter what is happening around us. It is a call for us to simply go deeper and deeper and deeper into the truth of who we are. And so that's what our talk is about today. And that's what these agreements are about. In this whole series that I've been doing for this whole, the 12 weeks we're doing this, is to have a ground to stand on. That's what this teaching is about, is to have a ground to stand on. That even as the stuff spins around us and swirls around us, we are firmly planted, firmly lodged, if you will, firmly rooted in a truth that doesn't change and that continues to feed us. And so that's my invitation as we go forward. So today we're on the, what would that be, 10th agreement, I believe it is. And it's, I agree to see the best in myself and others. Now, none of you need this, I know, because you all do it, but this is so you can, maybe talk to some other people that you know that don't always see the best in themselves or you, right? So this starts off, the book, in the book, the agreement starts off with this little metaphor. It's an invitation to take a journey back to your childhood and to imagine yourself sitting at your desk in your elementary school classroom. The teacher asks a question. The child next to you shoots her hand into the air and is called upon. She answers the question thoughtfully and beautifully, and after she's finished, the entire class cheers at the top of their lungs. Everyone can tell what a wonderful answer it was. The teacher smiles broadly and allows the hubbub to continue until it dies down naturally. All are eager for the next lesson. The teacher captivates everyone as she brings history to life in her dramatic retelling. She asks how this story applies to something that's happened to you recently and waits to see who will volunteer an answer. Now it's your hand that shoots up into the air with confidence, and she calls on you expectantly. You share your thoughts on how the story shows that history repeats itself, and the class again explodes into applause, thrilled at the insight and power of your thoughts. In the hallway after the class, one of your classmates pats you on the back and compliments you on your creative answer. Once again, you've been validated. You are, in fact, being groomed for a lifetime of giving your best. Seeing the best in others comes naturally to you, as does supporting others to do the same. It has been taught, encouraged, and rewarded for so long, it has simply become a way of life. That was your classroom, right? No, not all of us grew up that way. But it's never too late to start, is it?
No, sir, it's not.
Thank you. Somebody paying attention out there. It's never too late to start. I was at a leadership conference for the whole Centers for Spiritual Living a few years back, and one of the teens was up speaking, and they said, one of the things I'm tired of is listening to you adults say, God, I wish I would have known this stuff that you guys are learning as kids back when I was a kid. He says, stop saying that. You know it now. Live it now. Yeah? Live it now. That's why you're here. So we can create a nurturing environment today and every day. That's really what this agreement is all about, is creating a nurturing environment for yourself and everyone around you. Breathe that in for a moment. See, our experiences up until now have been shaped by our past experiences and our interpretations of those experiences, the meanings we make, the beliefs we create based on that. Usually based on our 2 to 4 year old child's mind, yes? Which has great perspective of the world and life, yeah? Oh yeah, we all did it too. Okay? Or we're shaped by the beliefs of others, which they passed on to us, and we often, as young children, accept as true. We don't sit there and go, no, Dad, that's not how it really works. But it's never too late to change. It's never too late to change our beliefs about ourselves and life and other people. It's never too late to create a loving, nurturing environment for ourselves and others. It takes three things. The first thing it takes is willingness. Willingness. Then it takes courage, and then it takes practice. I know. That practice thing. Willingness to choose new empowering beliefs. Courage to act upon that willingness. It's one thing to just say, yeah, I've got some good beliefs, but I'm not going to act on them. I'm going to just think about them. I'm just going to let them sit there and vegetate in my mind. But I'm going to act out of my old stuff. Can we act on them? So it's the courage to act upon that willingness. That's actually why I kind of asked you to stand up and really get into it with a song this morning. And that felt good, right? It was acting on that willingness to do something and experience something a little bit bigger, better, more wonderful. Okay? And then it takes practice to do it again and again. I've never met anybody who's skilled at anything who just mastered it the first time around. Brent, did you sit down the first time at the piano and be able to play it like that? Actually, yes. Yes, okay. I've now met somebody. And if you can't see it, his nose is growing and his pants are on fire. We practice. We practice. We've been practicing our old beliefs for a lot of years for many of us, yes? So if we're going to, and we've gotten good at it, you know? And so if, I remember out of 12-step, one of the things is, practicing alcoholics. It's like, they keep practicing and practicing and practicing, And it's like, get over that. And so we're here to practice new beliefs until our reality shifts and our trust in ourselves deepens. This past Wednesday, I was with the Spiritual Principles and Practices class. I was a bad influence on Tim because I introduced the idea of saying yippee skippy as part of the, and so it is process, and he's brought it into Sunday, and now it's infected the whole congregation. So, terrible virus. But we were talking about something that I just lost my train of thought on because of that. We do spiritual mind treatment until whatever it is we're doing a treatment about manifests, until it actually shows up. It's one of the questions, how often do I do spiritual mind treatment? How long do I do it? Until whatever I want manifests, until it shows up, until it's done, right? Because if I'm praying for more love or more money or more health or more whatever, I don't want to just pray about it and then walk away. I want it to actually show up, yes? Yes. Okay, good. Just want to make sure we're all here. All awake. So seeing the best in myself and others is seeing ourselves created in God's image. That's why I had you start by saying, I see God in you, to your neighbor. Today's reading from 365 Days of Richer Living by Ernest Holmes is, we all wish to speak the truth, but have we realized that every time we make a claim about ourselves that is different from the claim we would make about God, we are falling into the error of denying the divine presence in our experience. In other words, if we walk around going, I'm sick, is God ever sick? No. Am I broke? Is God ever broke? Either broken or financially broke? No. Whatever we say about God is true of ourselves. Whatever we say about ourselves really needs to be the same thing that we would say about God. Can you love yourself enough to recognize the God as you in form? Seeing the God within ourselves frees us to live from that instead of from our wounded self. It's what we do here, is to help ourselves remember and see the God that already exists. There's nothing you have to do to make that happen. In fact, God doesn't really exist in us. Okay? We exist in God. It's not like there's an us and then somewhere down in maybe somewhere in this region here maybe there's God existing in us. No, that's sort of like when Copernicus put out the idea that the Earth revolves around the sun back in the 1600s. It was revolutionary for the time because everybody thought the Earth was the center of the universe and everything revolved around it. We sometimes feel that way in our universe. Everything revolves around us. Okay? And so if we think that God is a part of us or in us, we're seeing it from the wrong perspective. We're in the divine. We're never separate from that. We're never not in that. Nothing in our lives is ever separate or not in that. We're here to see that, to awake to it, to take the veil from our eyes and see beyond what we've known so far. Tim referred to the moss reflecting the light. And I've been noticing this week that the moss is extra green and the light is it's new moss growing, and it's just like it's beautiful and stunning. And I'm willing to bet that there's a whole lot of people who drive right by the moss and see nothing. Right? And so we're being called to see the brilliance, the beauty within ourselves that already exists. And then we're being called to see the brilliance and the beauty within everybody else. Yeah, even those people that exists. Whether they are awake to it or not, yes? Whether they know it or not. Our work is to know it when they forget. Just like we would want somebody to know that for us when we forget. Breathe. So we want to shift from living from our old wounded self in the old stinking limited beliefs that we learned. Brian Tracy said the potential of the average person. Nudge your neighbor and said, I think he's talking about us. I think he's talking about us. The potential of the average person is like a huge ocean unsailed, a new continent unexplored, a world of possibilities waiting to be released and channeled towards some great good. This is what you and I have, is this infinite potential within us. Will you go sailing out on your own ocean of potential? Or will you stay safe in a little harbor tied up? You can stay in the harbor tied up if you want to. This is true of all of us, whether when we're being wonderful or terrible. Right? This is true of everyone else, the people we love, the people we hate, the people we fear, the people we think are wonderful or terrible. This is true when it's sunny or rainy. This is true when things are wonderful and when bombs are falling figuratively or literally in our lives. This is still true. The infinite presence is all that there is. Our greatest gift is love. Our greatest gift is love. It's what this agreement is about. God is love, and we are God in form, so we are love in form. Nudge your neighbor. Say, you are love in form. You are love in form. It's especially true even when we're not aware of it. We're here to be living in alignment with our highest truth, our God nature, which is the greatest gift we can give. When we see others and ourselves, and by the way, there really are no others. If all there is the infinite, there's only a oneness. Breathe. When we see ourselves and what appears as others from the highest, most loving perspective possible, we allow them and us to blossom into our potential, which is far greater than we can imagine. I have a friend who about a little over a year ago, about a year and a half ago, was asked at work to take on a project that was going to advance her career, but was going to require her to work with a boss who was known as a very difficult person to work with. And she said, yes, I will do that. I will take that on. And she took it on from the consciousness of, I'm not going to see that person as a difficult person to work with. I'm going to see that person as the divine self they are. And a couple of weeks ago, she was sharing that out of that, she's created a wonderful relationship with this boss. She's done some of the best work she's ever done in her entire career. She got a bonus and a raise out of the process by having a different attitude, by not accepting what other people said about this person, by not even accepting how this person was trying to be perceived, saw past that into something else. Saw past that into their divinity, saw past that into their brilliance. When we see ourselves from the highest, most loving perspective possible, we blossom into our greater potential. Our theme for this year is Beyond Our Wildest Dreams, yes? Now, this isn't just about Center for Spiritual Living Olympia, the organization. It's about each of us personally, because you and I are Center for Spiritual Living Olympia. If the center is going to blossom into its beyond its wildest dreams, what does that mean about us? We get to blossom beyond our wildest dreams. That's what we're being called to. Anybody up for that? Open to that? Yeah. So the question then becomes, do we have the willingness to dream bigger than ever and accept good beyond those dreams? Do you have a willingness to do that? Yes. You know, for some people, we were just having this discussion yesterday, for some people, the challenge is just to start dreaming again. Many of us were not in that classroom that I read about at the start of the talk. We were in a different classroom, right? For some of us, it's choosing to move beyond our comfortable, not too hot, not too cold, just okay, life. And recognizing that we're not here to stay small and comfortable. We have gifts to give to a world who is starving for our gifts, starving for the love and the light that we can share. And we don't do that by sitting in our nice little comfort zone. We have to kind of stretch out a little bit, right? I'm looking at Kent over here. He teaches Qigong, you know, and you know, I could come to the Qigong class and I could just stand here like this. And I wouldn't be doing Qigong. I have to move. I have to stretch out beyond what's comfortable for me. It might be comfortable to just sit here and go, I'm not going to move. You know, I might move wrong. Somebody might judge me about it. You know, I might lose my balance. You know, I might strain my arm muscle. You know, whatever, right? So it's about having the courage to go beyond, which takes movement, motion, getting up and out and living more fully. And that takes facing our old fears and our old beliefs of I'm not good enough, or I'm smart enough, or skinny enough, or beautiful enough, or rich enough, or whatever. It's too late for me now, I'm too old, or I'm too young, I can't do anything. It's facing all that and a dozen other voices within that are telling us, who are you to shine? And our response is, hey, I'm God in form. It is my nature to shine. That's why I'm here. Say that with me. It's my nature to shine. It's my nature to shine. Breathe that in. Yes. Yippee skippy. If we let that old voice run our life, we will die with our music inside us and our ocean unsailed and our continent unexplored. The truth, we're going to fail sometimes. Oh. We're going to fall short. We're going to fall on our face. We're going to have disappointments. Anybody try that when they try something new? They didn't get it right the first time around? Maybe even the 10th time around? You know, the third marriage around, whatever, right? We will fall short. We will have disappointments. It's called life and learning. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. But the 2 steps back are what gives us both the information and the motivation to keep moving forward, if we let it. The true test of our character is, what will we do in the face of a setback? What will we do in the face of a setback? Last week I quoted Miles Davis and Thelonious Monk, 2 great jazz musicians, who both remind us that it's not the note you play that's wrong, it's the note you play afterwards. It's what you do with it that determines, is it going to work for you or not? One of the things that holds us back the most is our fear of what others will say or think. Anybody besides me relate to that? Yeah. Marion in the book referred to Barbara Marx Hubbard telling her that she needed to free herself from her need for approval, right? Here's a realization that I had. People from abusive past don't even worry about approval because they can't even imagine approval. They just worry about not being disapproved of and the pain that comes with that. Breathe. We can't control what others think about us, which, by the way, is mostly about themselves anyways. They're just looking in a mirror, or they're communicating their own pain. It's really not about us. But we can decide to approve of ourselves. We can decide to approve of ourselves. We can decide to love ourselves no matter what. How many of you have something in your past that you wish you hadn't done the way you did it? Okay. Can you approve and love yourself anyways? Okay. I didn't really hear a feeling of that. Can you approve? Can you approve of and love yourself anyway? Yes. We're here to see the best in ourselves and then extend that gift to everyone around us, knowing that what we put out returns. What we put out returns. And so this week I'm going to invite you to do 3 practices. The first one is to list 10, not 3, not 5, 10 of your best attributes, things you love about yourself. Write them out on a piece of paper.
Are you writing this down?
There should be a picture up there that you can take a picture. Yeah. That's the first step. List 10 of your best attributes, things you love about yourself. Secondly, ask yourself, what is a simple step I can take today to empower someone close to me to be their best? What is an encouragement? What is a way that I can love them? What is a process I can do? By the way, this will be on the, I believe, the Facebook page, and I think the website too. Sandy, is that true? I hope so. And she's sitting there going, now that you said it, I have to do it. That's the second one. What's a simple step you can take today to empower somebody close to you to be their best? And the third one is, what is a dream you would love to experience? What is a dream you would love to experience? It doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world, right? A dream you would love to experience. And how can you love and encourage that dream into being? Are you willing to play with those 3 practices? You'll be a shifted person for that. I want to close with a quote that many of you are familiar with, but I think it's really good to remember it anyways. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Nudge your neighbor and say, you are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. And so are you. Yes. As Buffy likes to say, if you call fabulous, fabulous comes. If you call I am brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous, it comes.
Yes.
Yippee skippy.
Yippee skippy.
That's not in the quote. And she goes on to ask, actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You're an expression of the divine. Okay? Your playing small does not serve the world. Let me say it again. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. That means you and your neighbor too, right? That even means the person that you really don't like out there. It's in them too. Whether they know it or not, it's still there. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Are you willing to be a liberator? Are you willing to be liberated? Yes. Wonderful. Join me in our affirmation with feeling. I agree to see the best of myself and others today. Once more, I agree to see the best in myself and others today. And so it is. Yippee skippy. Thank you. Thank you.